The Washington Post fact checker today released its list of the top 10 lies of the year. Now, that's a lot of lies. So we thought, because it's television, we'd bring you just the 5 worst. Let's start with number 5. President Obama's claim that the day after Benghazi, he personally acknowledged it was an act of terrorism. Not so much. And number 4, Darrell Issa, House Oversight Committee chairman, his claim that then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton had signed a cable in April 2012 ordering a drawdown of security for the U.S. Embassy, the consulate in Libya. Not so. And number 3, the president reasserting himself, the president's claim that the Capitol Hill janitors would be getting a pay cut when the sequester kicked in. Not true. And number 2 is the NRA. Now, this, again, remember, is the Washington Post. The National Rifle Association's claim that the president's kids are protected by armed guards at their school. Well, the Post disagreed because they said the security guards at the Sidwell Friends School do not carry guns. They are security guards, but they don't have guns. Although the Secret Service protecting the first children indeed are armed, I think they could have been somewhat more reasonable there, don't you? And the worst lie of the year. You ready? Because he's been saying this for 4 years. President Obama's oft-repeated assertions that if you like your health care plan, you can keep it. Period. We'll take that up with the A-team. Joining us now, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the New York Post, Fox News contributor Michael Goodwin. Michael, good to see you. Former Carter pollster, Fox News contributor Pat Caddell. Pat, great to see you.
Good to see you.
It's been too long. And former member of George W. Bush's senior staff, Georgetown University professor Brad Blakeman. Brad, I got to ask you first, would President Bush ever had 3 out of 5? I mean, what would you say his record would have been?
Well, I don't think he would have a record anywhere close because President Bush didn't lie in order to use it to get anything done. This president's inducement for Obamacare was set on not only one lie, but several lies. You keep your doctor, affordable health care, and, of course, that every American is going to, especially the youth, see the value in signing up. These are not merely misstatements. These are lies. And when the president's not lying, he's exceeding his authority.
And Pat Caddell, this Washington Post story I thought was a blockbuster over the weekend. Accusing the White House of delaying a series of regulations and carrying out policies that they thought would be too controversial, too costly, and would not inure to the benefit of the president during an election year.
Yes, well, the most transparent administration in history is probably one of the most manipulative administrations since Richard Nixon. If you like your plan or like your doctor, you can keep it. Probably the biggest lie of this century, of the 21st century so far. It is, and it speaks to everything they've done on health care and regulations, which is we will fool the people, the mainstream press for the most part will let us get away with it, and we will just lie our heads off if we want. And that is basically what politics and government has come down to now.
How much trouble is this president in, Michael? You wrote a terrific column focusing on an administration that is I have described it as ethically squalid. It is almost incomprehensible, their conduct. Your thoughts on where they go from here?
Well, look, I think the idea of once the bond of trust is broken, and I believe the lie, which could have been the lie of any of the last 4 years or all of the last 4 years, because you say he's been saying it all along, you can keep your plan. Right. So once that bond of trust is broken, it seems to me it's very hard to take the president at his word on anything. I mean, that's what we teach our children, right? If you lie, nobody will ever trust you again. In journalism, we teach students, if you can't spell, nobody will trust your facts. Well, when the president of the United States says things that are demonstrably untrue, why are we to believe him on Iran or the next budget or anything?
And we'll be taking up exactly that issue with the A-team here in just a moment. And again, millennials they're abandoning the latest, 2 latest polls. The millennials are abandoning this president at a dramatic rate. It's astounding.